Hello. How does a place where almost nothing can grow become the beginning of a global food supply chain? A desert may appear empty and lifeless, but with careful planning and precise control, it can be reshaped into a productive landscape. From engineered land to living trees, from harvest to industrial processing, every stage connects in a continuous flow. What you are about to see is not a single operation, but a complete transformation, one that begins with land itself and ends in everyday consumption. The process begins by reshaping the desert into a functional agricultural foundation. Ground stability, water control, and environmental regulation are established through engineered infrastructure. Irrigation networks, soil preparation, and energy systems work together to replace unpredictability with precision. Once water movement and soil structure are stabilized, the landscape becomes capable of supporting sustained biological growth. Before entering the field, young trees are prepared under controlled nursery conditions. Each seedling develops structural stability and root strength while protected from environmental stress. Monitoring ensures uniform growth and resilience. Only plants capable of adapting to desert conditions are selected for transfer, ensuring that field planting begins with biologically stable material. Prepared seedlings are placed into engineered planting zones designed for spacing, drainage, and long-term root expansion. Irrigation delivery, soil composition, and physical alignment are calibrated at the individual tree level. This stage establishes the fixed spatial structure of the orchard, defining how light, air, and resources will move through the system for years to come. As trees begin active growth, structural development is guided to maintain balance and efficiency. Branch orientation, nutrient delivery, and irrigation patterns are adjusted to support uniform canopy formation. The goal is to create a stable biological framework capable of supporting future fruit production while maintaining resilience under desert conditions. Once the orchard matures, continuous regulation maintains system stability. Nutrient flow, environmental monitoring, and structural maintenance operate together to sustain plant health. Pruning preserves airflow and light distribution, while biological control methods maintain equilibrium within the growing environment. The orchard functions as a managed ecosystem rather than a passive field. With seasonal alignment, reproductive development begins. Flowering initiates pollination, and early fruit formation marks the shift from structural growth to yield production. Resource allocation becomes selective, concentrating the tree's energy into viable fruit capable of completing full development. As fruit expands, growth is regulated to maintain uniformity and structural integrity. Water delivery, nutrient supply, and canopy balance guide the accumulation of sugars and tissue density. External color and internal composition develop gradually until maturity thresholds are reached across the orchard. Once maturity is verified, harvesting begins in a controlled flow. Fruit is removed, transferred into field containers, and moved through collection pathways designed to minimize physical stress. At this point, the biological production phase concludes, and the material begins its transition into industrial handling. Harvested fruit is consolidated and transferred from agricultural space into industrial space. Handling shifts from biological care to logistical control as the product moves toward processing infrastructure. Inside the facility, fruit enters regulated intake systems and passes through mechanical cleaning processes that remove external residues while preserving structure. Movement becomes standardized and continuous, preparing the material for classification and processing. Inspection systems evaluate each unit and direct it into appropriate processing pathways. Natural variability from the orchard is converted into standardized industrial material through classification and controlled handling. Stabilized products are packaged, secured, and prepared for distribution. Handling systems shift from production flow to transport flow, moving goods towards storage and commercial networks. The final stage completes the physical journey. What began as engineered land and cultivated growth becomes a product ready for selection and consumption. The transformation from environment to market is complete. From reshaped desert ground to finished food in public space, each stage forms part of a single continuous chain. Land preparation, biological growth, harvesting, industrial handling, and distribution are not separate events, but connected phases of one system. What begins with environmental control ends with everyday use, and with each season, the entire process begins again.